Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? I hope so. Oh my gosh, look at all this love that's in the chat before I even got here. Let's see, let's start from the beginning. A very good place to start. If you know Sound of Music, you know what I'm talking about. Hi, Lizzie. And Lizzie, right after you. So, hi, Lizzie Lopez. Hi, Lizzie B. Thanks for being here. Opinion, I can totally see your messages. Hi, Agatha. It's been a while we haven't chatted. Let's see. Hi, Neely. Hi, Carol. It's been a while. Hi, Melanie. Let's see who else. Hi, Love Sunshine. Thanks for being here. Thank you, everyone. Hi, Dell. Hi, Teaspoon. How are all of you doing? I hope you can hear me because I'm scrolling through the chat, so I haven't seen any of the newest comments. Hi, Nickel. Um, let's see who else. Who else? Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Wow, we're at 47 people. The last I looked, it was 9 people. So thanks, everyone. Thanks for being here. I have a couple of really good things planned for us today. So we're going to have a good one. We're going to go through an article and I'm going to ask you some questions about that article after we're done. And then I have made 3 hypothetical questions like we used to have, and then we would laugh so much during the chat. So that is coming up at the end. Um, Hi, Jilly. I hope I said it. Is it a hard G or Gilly or Jilly? I said Jilly, but sorry if I got that wrong. All right, everyone. Hi, Kumari. Hi, Roxanne. Hi, Carly. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Hi, Colts and Cake. Hi, Sage. Hi, an old geezer. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Rosalie. Hi, Peekaboo. Steve's here, everyone. Hi, Steve. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Sharon. Okay, you guys, I'm going to get into it because I hope if I haven't said hello to you, I'm so sorry. I want to welcome you here. I'm so happy you're here. Hi, Ivy of House Bark. Welcome, welcome. Oh, okay, everyone. I am going to start with just one quick thing. I'm sure, well, I hope that you've noticed at the end of my videos lately, you know what? I am not ashamed to admit it. I am copying the Sidley twins. Absolutely. I am absolutely copying the Sidley twins. And what I mean by that is I love how they ask people in lieu of super chats and super stickers to donate to various animal um, fostering. I'm blanking on what I'm going to say. On places that foster animals and rescue animals. And I wanted to do something similar, but I want it to be relevant for what we talk about here. And I thought the most fitting is the National Domestic Violence Hotline. So I'm going to ask all of you in lieu of super chats and super stickers if you could donate directly to the National Domestic Violence Hotline. I forgot to put a link in the description of this video, but it's in the description of all of my other videos. So I would love it if you could do that. And in the event that you need to contact them, and I hope that you don't, but if you do, their information is right here on the screen. And, you know, I appreciate all of you so much. Hi, Raven. Okay, the other thing I wanted to tell you is that I know that it's been a while since I've had a live stream, at least on this channel. Okay, so I have another channel. It's just coming up. It's very new and it's called Revealing the Crime. Last week and the week after, there were a group of us that, I mean, we spent all day together, like the entire 8 hours, 10 hours at a time. First, we were watching the Lori Vallow Daybell trial, the attempted murder of her niece's ex-husband, Brandon Boudreaux. And then we started watching the Karen Reed trial. For the Karen Reed trial, I wasn't able to stream exactly what was on the screen because Court TV owned the rights. And we got in right when the closing arguments came in. So unfortunately, we didn't see any of the testimony, but we saw the closing arguments, and then we were on verdict watch for 3 days. So it was a good time. It was a good time. So that's why I haven't really had live streams on this channel because I've been live streaming like all day for I don't know, 7, 8 days. It was so fun. And I'm gonna shout out Agatha. It was Agatha's idea. I don't remember what she said. She commented on one of the videos and it got me thinking like I should see if we can get a group together and um and watch it. It would be really, really fun. So that was great. Oh, thank you, Carol. Carol's asking everyone to please hit the like button if you're not, and if you're not subscribed, to please subscribe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hi, Lady Carrie. Yeah, the revealing the crime group. It was fun. It was fun. Yeah, yeah, an old geezer. We had a good time. And I have to tell I don't know if you all noticed it, but literally the moment they were reading off Lori Vallow's verdict, StreamYard crashed. Like literally, it was like of all the moments, like this is what we've been waiting for, and it crashed. And when StreamYard crashed, it wasn't just my stream to everybody that crashed, but like East Idaho News, where we were watching the trial, that crashed. It was awful. I mean, in the end, she was found guilty. And we were having different discussions on whether we felt there was enough proof about that, but it was a good time. And I was joking when we were waiting for the Karen Reed verdict, like, oh my gosh, please don't crash, please don't crash. We've been waiting like 10 hours a day for 3 days. And there it was. It was such a good time. Yeah, the trial lives were amazing. And what I'm gonna do this week on revealing the crime, I haven't decided what day yet. I have a little bit of a busy schedule the next few days. But what I want to do is gear up for the Brian Koberger trial. I believe that trial is going to be streamed on East Idaho News. And East Idaho News is great because it's public, and I believe I can stream directly onto the screen so that we can watch it all together and not need two devices, like we did for the Karen Reed trial. So what I want to do is gear up for that. And just last week, there was a hearing about pushing Brian Koberger's trial out. It's about a 30-minute long video that I've seen. So I think sometime this week, either during the weekdays or on the weekend, I will do a live stream on revealing the crime to go through to watch that all together. And then I'll start like from the beginning of the Brian Koberger case. I want to watch like everything that leads up to the case. So it would be great. I would love to experience that with all of you. Hi, Cryptic Charm. Oh, thank you, Melanie. Oh, is it? Okay, I'm gonna ask then, maybe I need to do a disclaimer that if you can't donate to the American domestic violence hotline, if there's anything similar to that in the country that you're from, this little community, I feel like we're making such a big difference in all of our trials together. Our trials, gosh, I said that because we're talking about I feel like we're making such a big difference in each other's lives. It's so supportive. I love how all of you interact with each other, and I feel like we're making an impact um, to other places as well. So it's lovely. Opinion says, Pidina just now supporting Harry on Dan Wooten show. Can't believe what I was saying, that you just don't know people who you believed were in the other camp. Opinion, what was she saying? I haven't seen that. Oh, but you guys, yesterday someone let me know that at the end of Dan Wooten's video yesterday, I forget which one, but he showed one of my clips. It's such an honor. Can you believe it? Oh, yes, Colton Cake. Lori has sentencing in July. I think it's July 25. So I'll have to do that too. Yeah. Yay, more live, Steve says. Yep. Yeah, they always ask for a delay. If I'm not mistaken, it was denied, Lisa, because I don't remember reading that it was approved. Um, yeah, I hear you. Some YouTubers are more interested in clicks than telling the truth, and that's why, like, one of the biggest insults you could tell me is that, oh, that video was clickbait. Like, I do not do clickbait. I want to present it as it is. I don't want, like, I already come in here with a bias. I know that I do, and it's because I grew up around narcissists. I married a narcissist, so you know, I see it everywhere, right? So I can admit my bias on that, but I try to present things as objectively as possible, as fair as possible, and because ultimately my goal is to just talk about these behaviors and to spot them in our own lives and how to deal with it when we see it, how to spot it when we see it. Oh, Lisa, my birthday. Yeah, so my birthday was last week and I was supposed to go get my hair dyed and cut, and I had a whole spa day scheduled, but the salon called and said that my hairstylist was out sick. So my spa day is actually going to be this weekend. So that's what's going to happen this weekend. Cryptic Charm is is also asking what was P. Dinah saying? If it's something about how tragic a figure he is, that's true. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Teaspoon says, "I know he has spoke of you and your work several times, praising you. He's amazing." Oh my gosh, it's so oh my goodness, it's amazing. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Neely. Okay, everyone, let's see. Am I caught? My 21st birthday. Oh, to have all of these life experiences I've had so far and to be 21. If only I had this wisdom at 21. Am I right? That would be great. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, thank you. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Okay, everyone. So what oh, thank you, Miss Panda. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Okay, so the article I wanted to go through today is I don't know. There's just so much I see here, and I thought we could talk about it because I see a lot of deflection. See a lot of projection, and yeah, let's get into it. So the article is titled Prince Harry. Oh my gosh. Prince Harry starting to get frustrated with Meghan Markle's this approach. And I have to ask, is it just singular this? Because it should be multiple things that he should be getting frustrated with, in my opinion. And the text here says Harry's starting to think they've made a huge mistake moving to California. He's made a huge mistake, all right. Right? He totally has. Raven said, I couldn't watch Dan Wooten today as he had Pidina on and was talking about Harry's so-called hospital trip. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about that. I um I know that a lot of people talk about privacy and I mean there my feelings are I believe that people do have their right to privacy. And because I haven't seen it reported anywhere else, and I like to deal in facts and I want evidence and I want receipts, I'm I'm not going to say that it happened. I haven't seen any evidence that it happened. I've heard word of mouth that it happened, and we all know what happens when people play telephone, right? One message gets completely mixed up by the time it gets to the end. So, I'm inclined to um, just wait to see if there is proof that's put out. And also, at the same time, if he does want privacy over it, I think he's entitled to that. I know, right? A big mistake. Exactly, Teresa. Exactly. Oh my goodness. Okay, so getting back to the article begins Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are said to be on a very different page when it comes to keeping the identities of their kids under wraps. This has been disclosed in a report by The New Idea after Meghan shared a video montage of precious personal moments of Harry with their kids in order to mark Father's Day in the US amid the unrest in California. And I just want to put this into perspective. There wasn't just unrest in California. It was nationwide, right? I didn't watch a lot of the coverage of what was happening, but I know that this was something that was happening nationwide. Let me see before we go to the next part. Let me see if I can catch up on your chats. Steve says, "I've seen it might be fake news." I mean, exactly, like, if I don't see a credible source saying that it's true, I don't I don't wanna admit that it happened because I don't know. I want evidence. I want evidence. That's why we have revealing the crime. We wanna deal with facts and evidence, and we don't want like, how we were talking about the in the Karen Reed trial, that one, um expert who painted his arm blue and did these really weird experiments. Okay, we don't want weird experiments. We want like things rooted in fact that make sound scientific sense that are logical, you know. Teaspoon agrees with the hospitalization. Yeah. Let's see. Everyone is chatting with each other. I love it. I love it. Carly says, I think Megan put that rumor out. She's setting him up allegedly to be able to keep the kids, get money from King for her kids. I mean, I would not put anything past Megan, honestly. Carol says it's only been on YouTube. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next part of this article, and it says the insider tells the new idea about the Meghan Markle Instagram post. He can't believe the post went up on the most violent of weekends in recent history, and one that needed the U.S. Marines to intervene to show Archie and to show the kids' faces online for the first time. It was a Father's Day surprise, but he's stunned by the timing. He knows Megan feels she has to prove a point, but her timing couldn't be worse. Some days, the only way he can see to keep his family safe is to get away from LA. There is so much here. And let's start with the first thing that I'm noticing. The first thing I'm noticing is emotional displacement. When someone is upset, but they don't consciously know why that is, they attach their emotion to something that's like concrete and socially acceptable. In my opinion, he is not comfortable sharing the children's images. He's not comfortable with Megan's behavior. And instead of naming that as the issue, he's latching onto something external: the timing of the post, the political climate, the optics. It's displacement. The emotion is real, but he is changing the target, and it's a safer outlet for him because he doesn't have to really see his wife's involvement in his discomfort. I think this whole story is not about LA at all. And factually, Santa Barbara, Montecito, it's about 100 miles away from LA. Plus, they live like in a very guarded community. So I would say that they are far away from anywhere that there would have been danger. In my opinion, Megan crossed the line by posting that video, and instead of him addressing it with her or even admitting how it made him feel, he redirected that discomfort into geography. Because if LA is the problem, then he doesn't have to confront the real issue. And I wanted to give you three scenarios that you might have experienced this type of emotional displacement. It could be someone that yells at you for buying the wrong kind of socks, but the real issue is that they have stress at work and you're the safest target. It could be that you get silent treatment over a joke. You made a harmless joke and the person won't talk to you for a few days. It wasn't the joke that was the issue, but there was some type of resentment or shame that was going on. And it could be someone who criticizes your tone. So you calmly say how you feel, and they lash out and say, I didn't like your tone. But it wasn't about your tone, it was about them being uncomfortable with you having a boundary. So before we continue, I want to get caught up on the chat. Um, yep. An old geezer agrees. I doubt Harry wants them on Instagram. Oh, they're being investigated for tax fraud? Oh, that could also be fake? I mean, I wanna see reliable sources. Oh, thanks for coming, Cryptic Charm. I hope you have a good time walking the pup. Teresa says, "In all other European royal divorces, the parents get joint custody. Anne won't get sole custody, not against the money and power of the UK monarchy." Yeah. She didn't show their actual faces, and you know what? I actually was editing and prepping the video, but I forgot. I can share the video with you all here. Do you guys wanna see it? It'll just take me a second to prep it. I had it, like, uploaded and ready to go, but I just didn't. You know what's weird? This first clip looks like it's from, like, a Ring camera. That's odd. You can't see it in the version that I edited because I cropped it a little bit, but yeah, let's see. And let me see what you all say. Do you want to see it? Do you not want to see it? Yeah, releasing will be payday. Okay, Neely wants to see it. Nicole wants to see it. Okay, Camilla just joined in. Okay, let's see. Did it? Oh, it says unable to share. Come on, let's go. Let's airdrop. Oh man, what's going on with my computer? Well, with my phone. Teaspoon wants to see it. An old geezer wants to see it. All right. Almost there. Almost there. Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna go on. Actually, I won't go on mute. I'll show you guys the video. Here it is. It's weird because if you look at the bottom, do you see how is there's like a curve at the bottom? For a second, I thought maybe that first one was caught on a Ring camera, but it's really odd that there's that half circle at the bottom. So, yeah, some of the images do show a lot of the kids' faces, not clearly, but it's there. Oh, thank you, Yorkshire Teacup. I appreciate it. Why is it so blurry? Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, so this is the clip that Harry is upset about. And I mean, I can't imagine, I don't know, why post something like this. And it's so weird. We get conflicting stories, right? Because they post this, and then we had that article just a couple of days ago about how Harry is trying to show the king what he's missing out on. And then there's this article now that's like, well, I didn't want Megan to post it anyways. Yeah, is it portrait mode or something like that? I don't know. It's really odd. And if you look at the video, it's the whole video looks like that, right? Let me hide the comments. So, yeah, the whole video has that like black half circle. It's hard. I don't know if you guys see this part, the grayed out part of my video. Really odd. There's different kids, a lot of people are saying. Yeah, weird to show your young children on Instagram. Oh, Sarah says it's weird because she's filming a screen, it looks like. So it's a phone filming another phone, Sarah believes. Yeah. Ivy of House Spark says, to be honest, he knows and is okay with it. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let me go to the next part of this article. Um, and it says another insider claims LA's curfews and clashes seem far more serious, and this time Harry not only has a wife but two kids to keep safe. Harry's starting to think they've made a huge mistake moving to California. Seeing the rest of the royals, and here it is, guys. Ding ding ding. Here's the reason I think why this article is even out there. Seeing the rest of the royals looking so happy, juxtaposed to what was going on a short drive away from his home with the incessant whoop of choppers flying over him, it's easy to see why he's having regrets. There it is. I mean, there's many reasons for him to have regrets, but and I do want to point out his projection of the the location. So he's saying he's deeply unsettled because of the conflict in California. What I really think, though, is what he's unsettled about is his marriage, his choices, but he doesn't want to sit with that discomfort. So he's projecting it onto geography. Suddenly, California is the issue, and that's classic projection. He's not saying something's wrong inside me or inside this relationship. He says something's wrong with this place. And he did the exact same thing in the UK. He felt emotionally unsafe, unheard. He felt the family dynamic was off, and instead of acknowledging what was going on there in his own relationships, particularly in his marriage, it turned into the UK is toxic. The media is the problem. The firm drove us out. And now that he has problems here in LA, instead of being introspective and trying to see maybe there's something happening in my relationship, maybe the problem isn't that there are protests and riots and things happening in LA. Maybe the problem is inside my home. Let me see what you all say. Miss Panda says Harry doesn't have any leverage in California. He's blame shifting. Yes, yes, yes. Ivy of House Park. Yes. Opinion says Megan called the paparazzi at Tyler Perry home. Yeah, Tom Bauer discovered legal permission having been given. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. Didn't she do the same thing with when they were on that island in during the holiday season of 2019 when they were in Canada? She like purposely gave away their location, and then that's when they allegedly went on that freedom flight. Yeah, exactly, Miss Panda. The negative dynamic is not geographical, is matrimonial. Yep, Harry has regrets about Megxit. Yes, yes, yes. I completely, completely, completely agree. Yeah, so going back to this projection, projection acts like an emotional bubble wrap. So it lets us criticize something outside ourselves so we don't have to confront the thing that actually hurts. Examples of this could be a partner who constantly accuses you of being selfish when you're the one compromising all the time. And in reality, they're deflecting their own self centered behavior onto you. Or someone that says, "You're trying to control me." You ask a simple question like, "What time will you be home?" And they explode. It's not about the question, it's about their own controlling tendencies that are being projected on you. And I want to go back to this really quick, this last paragraph, where it talks about him seeing the royals looking so happy. And I was trying to figure out what this is. Is there a term for this, like, psychologically, and how can we talk about this? And what I found was something called comparison distress. And so this is when emotional pain is triggered by seeing other people looking happy or successful, especially when it contrasts so sharply with your own situation. So Harry is seeing the royals on the balcony. They're smiling, coordinated, secure, and he can't help but compare it to his own instability, isolation, and the conflict that's happening under his own roof. It I would imagine that it makes him second guess everything doing this comparison. And I'm curious, what do you all think about that? Do you think that this comparison, comparing his life to what he is seeing, is really making him recognize buyer's remorse? Sharon Wright says. Yeah, yeah. He's stuck. Steve says he's stuck with Megan, and the royal family have rejected him. And you know what it is, Steve? How can they trust him ever again? You just can't trust him. And it's so heartbreaking to see. Like, the issue is more than, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to see. It's hard to watch. Agatha's asking Steve, do you think they'll take him back? Not 20 says he's been isolated. Yes. Hi, Paula. Carol says Harry has blown all his relationships and broken the trust. Yep. Lulu's mom says everyone blames Harry for her, which ultimately was his decision. What he got was a narcissist who took control of him so easily. He's weak. Absolutely. He is accountable in all of this as well. You know, there's a part to blame. I think it's easier to, how do I say it? Like, I don't know if Harry is a narcissist. I don't know. I think he definitely has a lot of trauma. Um, I just, seeing him around Megan, it's hard to see if he's a narcissist because her narcissism is so much. It's so much easier to criticize Megan because her behavior is so in our faces. Harry's behavior, though, every time he says something, oh my goodness. Yeah. Lisa says, I think he has a lack of control that makes him from going forward with life. Yeah, a lack of impulse control. And you know what? Megan has a lack of impulse control too. It's so weird to me. And this is with regards to Megan, that someone can be so strategic. And I mean, if I've heard that Megan Kelly said that in the early 2010s, Megan had a vision board with Harry on it. And then she marries him. So to have that kind of strategy, to be able to it's genius. How did she do it? I don't know. I don't know. But then at the same time, to be so impulsive that, you know, Catherine does something and it's like a knee-jerk reaction. She has to do it too. It's like there are certain things that her envy and her, I don't know, what else could you say brings it out? Um, her ego, like if it bruises her ego or if it flares up her envy, she has no impulse control. Neely says, imagine having the royal family take care of you your entire life, then meeting MM and trusting her. Now look. Yeah. Imagine being MM and having the world at, like, the world is your oyster and throwing that all away. I think that's one of the most fascinating things about this. Like, how How could you not see the opportunity that was there? Yes, Carol. Actions have consequences. Harry has not learned that lesson. Melanie says we shouldn't feel guilty for being compassionate, but we should remain realistic. Yes, well said. I agree. I agree. All right. So let me see what else I had here. Okay, so I wanted to come up with I was like reflecting on all of this. And I think that real regret doesn't need a spiral, but comparison builds one anyways. So sometimes you may walk down a path that wasn't meant for you. That's okay. But the regret you feel, that may not be the worst part. It's when you start comparing your choice to what you think you could have had. That's when things spiral. It's one thing to regret something that happens and to learn from it. And there's another thing of comparing it, like how Harry is doing. He sees the balcony, he sees the smiles, he sees the structure he walked away from. And suddenly it's not just regret, it's doubt, it's envy, it's comparison. And yeah, yeah. What do you all think about that? I know, Teresa. How could she think she could? I know. Yeah. All right. So I wanted to ask you all some questions, and I picked these questions, but I didn't reflect on my own answers. So I will reflect on my own answers. I have two questions for you that are more of these serious questions, and then we'll get into the three really funny hypothetical questions because we are going to close this out on a high note. So I'm wondering, have you ever blamed a place or a situation when deep down it was really about a person? Um, I'm trying to think. Let's see. Lisa says she saw that the blame towards her father stuck for a while and thought she could pull it off towards the royals. She didn't understand the difference between her family and the world stage. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to reflect on this question. Have I ever blamed a place or a situation when it was really about a person? Sorry that I'm going quiet, guys. Um, Opinion says I don't blame others. I take responsibility for my own actions. I really like the wisdom in your answer, opinion. I really like that. Yeah. Yeah, so I will get back to you guys on this one. And then I had one more question. Um, what do you think Megan posting, it should say video, posting that video really meant? Was it intentional or was she being tone deaf? Penelope says, usually I blame the person when it's really the situation. It seems like it's reversed for me too. Like when I'm trying to think of examples, that's kind of where I'm going, Penelope, as well. Um, she's tone deaf, Lulu's mom says. Peekaboo says, nope, I never blamed the bar for the drinks I had. Melanie says, to be honest, yes, but usually the person was always myself. I took a job that I knew wasn't for me. That's an amazing reflection, Melanie. Yeah, Camilla says everything Megan does is intentionally. Teaspoon says, I did a couple of times, but when I truly thought about it, I realized it was a certain friend. Yeah. Carly says she is tone deaf. Not 20 says she can be cunningly tone deaf. Yeah. Yeah. And I think also Megan following the trooping the color amazingness and the Beckhams being knighted, or David Beckham, he was knighted, right, that weekend. That must have sent her on a spiral. So she had to create something, I think, that would, beat them, in quotation marks, pull one over on them, be better than they are. So, yeah, okay, who's ready for the fun questions? I'm sure all of you are. Everybody is. We haven't done these in so long. And I got a new background for these questions. So I hope you guys like it. Okay. First question. If Megan dropped a tell all podcast episode tomorrow, what title would you give it? And in the meantime, while you come up with those examples, Camilla says, I think both are true. Teaspoon says, I think Megan will blame Harry for everything. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, Neely says, MM posted the videos for attention and revenge. Yeah. Lady Victoria, that's driving her nuts. Carly says, yeah. Opinion says the podcast title would be Moon Bump. Oh my gosh. The truth I dare not tell, Peekaboo says. Neely says, telling lies again. Joe says, the real me. Lizzie, the clapback. Ivy of House Park, me, myself, and I, and my lies. Dell, I told the truth. Yorkshire Teacup, secrets of a habitual slick liar. Confessions of a habitual liar. I was a female stalker. Carly. Another one. Another one bites the dust. Not 20 says the great reveal. Ta-da! Sue says lies people tell about me. Carol, it's not my fault. Oh my gosh. Paula, I'm not gonna say that word, but you guys could read it. Ebaz says, me. Welcome to the Yet podcast. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, how she plagiarized that one, right? Oh my goodness. It's all about me, Lady Carrie says. Poor little evil girl, Lulu's mom says. Artist, all the things I want you to know about me. Teaspoon, my truth and nothing but my truth. I know nothing, only stupid gossip, Del says would be the title. Confessions of a pathological liar. Yeah. No worries, Camilla. Paula likes the female stalker. Oh, Neely, the word salad show. Joe Vicker says, my respect for Catherine. Or, well, Megan, of course, wouldn't say Catherine. She would say Kate Middleton. Ugh, she's the worst. My authentic self, Agatha says, me, myself, and I. Oh, Carol, I should have been the Princess of Wales. Lulu's mom, hello? Is there anybody in there? The princess. Inside of me, Ivy of House Bark. Me, myself, and lies. I never loved Harry. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay, you're hired to give Harry life advice, but he only listens to the advice in meme format. What is the meme? And while you guys think about that, I'm going to go on mute and have a sip of my tea because you guys saw the title or my new thumbnail for this, that we're going to be drinking tea. This is our afternoon tea. So I will be back in a short second. Okay, I'm back. So I picture, if it was a meme, that it's a man surrounded in a house fire, and the label is me trying to fix my life by moving houses instead of addressing my marriage. And that like hits exactly with the article we were just talking about. A meme, it could be a cartoon, it could just be an image. So basically, describe an image with some type of quote at the top of it. What about the one you all know that one with the kid that's looking slyly at the camera and then there's a fire happening behind her? I would imagine that maybe the meme is Megan is the one that's like slyly smiling and the text is something along the lines of she always it always goes into flames or she's always adding oil to the or gas to the fire. Yeah, Serenity says Harry is attending events and not in the hospital. That has been proven, Serenity says. I haven't seen that. Yeah. Tomorrow Rain says the grifter in me, how I grift my way to the top and back down to the bottom. That's a great podcast episode. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Neely. Lady Carrie, Harry asking, how do I get this tattoo off my behind? You think that's the one he got when he went to the when he recorded that jelly, what was his name? Jelly Roll? Was that his name? Oh, Lizzie. Leonardo DiCaprio raising his glass and telling him, "You This is Lizzie, you win." Leonardo DiCaprio raising the glass, "You've successfully markled yourself." Yes. Camilla says, "Yep, Megan is the kid in that one. She's also the kid in the video where the mom says, 'Are you gonna be part of the problem or part of the solution?' And the girl says, 'I'm gonna be the whole problem.'" Okay, good. Thank you, everyone. Jelly roll, jelly roll. Carol says, "Harry looking at the flames in of mansion in Montecito." Yeah, an invisible tattoo. Oh, Miss Panda, my life advice would be a picture of a top divorce attorney. And the text would say, like, "Call me now. Put me on speed dial." Yep. Okay. And let's go to the last question. It's let's say you're Megan's publicist for the day. So make sure that you have a therapist appointment lined up right afterwards because you're going to need to to talk about what you experienced. But what is the first post of her Instagram that you would delete first? And feel free to describe like why you would delete that one. I'm wondering which one I would delete. Oh my gosh, I know which one I'd delete. The tacky one where she runs up to the camera and it's purposely that you can see her engagement and wedding ring. That's the one I would delete. Ugh, that annoys me. Miss Panda says anything that references HRH, that's a good one. Camilla says the one I could get to the fastest, they're all bad. Ebaz says, can I delete them all? Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. The twerking, Lisa says, yes. Carol says, I delete the whole account. Yorkshire Teacup says the same. Sue says the same. Joe says anything that's referencing when I was 11 years old. Yeah. Steve says the twerking video. Neely says, I delete me MM in the seeing with her fake wig, oh, in the swing. Oh my gosh. Yeah. The baby dance, Miss Panda says, "Can you imagine I totally forgot about that one?" Oh, Cindy, I forgot about that one too, the duck one. Oh my gosh. Ivy of Housebark says 2025 because everything has gone bad since then. Yes, delete them all. Oh my goodness, you guys are great. Dell says every image of her touching the fake bum. Yeah. Yeah, so that's all the questions I have for today, everybody. What do you want to chat about for the next couple of minutes? Agatha says when she was 11 years old, her narcissism was finished developing. Yeah. Her ego had already fully developed. Melanie says, I would start with a stupid dog filter picture. Everything would then not have happened. Yeah. Thanks, Lizzie. The wedding, Callie says, oh, Ma Susanna, I would love that. to open the comments and see how it goes. Oh, wouldn't that be a fun? We could have entire like YouTube live streams just reading those comments. That would be a good time. Camilla says, sadly, the duck one has turned out to be one of the most tolerable. Never thought I'd say it, but here we are. Here we are. Princess Goose agrees to delete the duck one. Yeah. Thanks, Carol. Carol's asking everyone, and I am asking too, to please hit the like button and also subscribe if you haven't. I appreciate it so, so much. And also, if you could go to here, let me set it up. If you're interested in all of the true crime things, and if you want to go through the Brian Koberger, we're going to go through that in the next couple of days. I'll set up a live stream for that. Please follow my Revealing the Crime account. The information is right there. It's a good time. We have a good time. Hi, Kate. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here. Those poor ducks. Yeah. Oh, no, I'm here. I'm here, Gilly. I'm here. Um, Mealy says, if H lives in New York, how come there are no pictures of him and or in Montecito? Harry's been trapped. Yeah, I think, and that's just it, right? Like he's so scared of these privacy breaches, him and not Megan, because Megan calls the paparazzi. It's always something that he's doing publicly. Like it's not surprising that there would be cameras there. So I think his perception is 180 degrees different from the reality. Yeah, it would, right? Not 20 reading all her comments. That would be a good podcast. Yeah. Thank you, an old geezer. I appreciate that. Lisa says, I'm following the Preppy murder trial right now. Wasn't that an old, wasn't that like in the 80s, Lisa? Let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know. Panda says that house in LA is so big they could live there and never see each other. Yeah, they're on opposite wings. Eba says, I don't understand the hospitalization story. It sounds planted and fake, but why would they put this out, or is it true? Well, I don't know. I don't want to say it. I have thoughts about that. I think it's very easy if it's a game of telephone for the message to get lost or exaggerated or so, if it's coming from word of mouth, and here's the thing, if it's coming from Megan's camp, it would be in People magazine. It would be in something. It wouldn't be rumors like this. It wouldn't be speculation, right? Yeah, Camilla says that it was clickbait. Um, Steve says, could you post a notice in advance for the time difference? Yes, Steve, I will aim to schedule the live stream for the Revealing the Crime video. I'll do that today, promise. In fact, I'm going to make a note to myself. I'm going to do it right now. Set up live stream. I will do that today. I'm thinking to do Friday morning for me, which would like at 8 a.m. maybe, but we'll see. Let's see. If it was true, Harry didn't want it out. That's what matters, but it's not true. Lulu's mom doesn't trust the source. Yeah, and that's just it. You have to look at where you're getting your information from. How trustworthy is it? Are other people reporting on it? The other people that are reporting on it, do you trust them? And the thing is, you could, right? It could be coming from somewhere that you believe, and I don't like maybe someone has set up that type of trust with you that you believe what they're saying. And yeah, those are just my thoughts. Julie says, trying to stay awake, had nurse and doctor here and trying to get my AC fixed. Hopefully your AC gets fixed. It's a bad time of year for the AC to not work, and I hope, um I hope you're feeling better. Yeah. Neely says, "Megan is up to something and divorce is coming, I'm telling y'all." Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. She needs something though. Yeah. Princess Goose says, "I'm not going to be in the live if it's in the Eastern time zone." It's Pacific. I'm Pacific time zone. So I would do it maybe 4 hours before this one. Yeah. Carol says there are certain YouTubers who verified their information from mainstream and multiple sources. And that's what I do. I don't want to say it if I don't know it, you know? There are times when I'll be like, "Okay, I want to put this in. I want to talk about this." And then it's like, "Well, where did I get that information from? Did I hear it in casual conversation or did I read it in Tom Bauer's Revenge? Or was it in a publication that I don't necessarily trust?" So that's why. And this is the same for like everything you do. This is the same for your relationships in real life too, right? You could have someone come and tell you, "So and so said this about you." Well, who's more credible? Is it possible that so and so said that about you? Or is it more possible that the person bringing this information um, would have motive to do it, right? So it's important to always consider your source of information. Yeah. Oh, Julie says it's starting to cool. Great. Uh, Lulu's mom says that's what I meant. I know who I can trust as a source. The hospitalization came out in bits and was too sketchy. And nobody else reported on it. As much as I looked for it, I couldn't find it. And I understand. And look, here's the thing. It could let's say it's completely true and the mainstream media doesn't want to cover it because of Harry's privacy. Okay, I won't report on it then because I still don't know, even in that hypothetical situation, whether or not the situation is true. I don't know. Steve says that's great. Scotland and France are both really nice. Oh, that sounds beautiful. I want to go to Scotland. I want to go. It's on my list. Yeah. Lisa says, "I don't think it's a good idea to take an unverified story and expand your thoughts around that story. The foundation, if the foundation is shaky, then every assumption that comes on top of it is shaky, right?" Yeah. Hi, Kristen. Thank you for being here. Teresa says, "If so and so said about me, I'd say, well, if you believe them, that's your problem, or that's between you and them." Yeah, I mean, you trust your source because sometimes the source could be much more trustworthy than the person, or it could be the opposite. The source could not be someone trustworthy, and you believe wherever the message is coming from. Teaspoon says, "I will be meeting friends for breakfast on Friday morning, but will join when I can." Okay, Teaspoon. Uh, Neely says, "Do you think Harry will ever break free of Megan's hold on him?" I I'm gonna compare this to my own marriage. So I was married to a narcissist. And I don't say that lightly. Like I don't throw that phrase around a lot. And I was married for a little over 10 years. And in the beginning of my relationship and in the early days of my marriage, he discarded me 9 or 10 times. I lost count. And when I mean he discarded me, like I literally packed up my bags and left, and then I came back. So I take full accountability that I was in a vulnerable place and I didn't value myself as much and I went back. So there's that. I did become isolated, y- yet I was very lucky that there were a group of people who stayed close to me, even though they knew his goal was to isolate me. It's because of those relationships that I maintained, that people that 100% had my back, that I was able to leave, right? Yeah, an old geezer. I love that. And just as an example, my dad was a very traditional man. And when I mean traditional, like politically, he was actually um, very, what's the word I'm looking for? More liberal. He was much more liberal, but in terms of tradition, I feel like he was um, very traditional. So when I told him I was going to get divorced, I thought he would be upset, that I was getting divorced. And you know what he told me? First thing he did was ask me, "Are you serious?" And he asked me that because that man dumped me so many times. That man discarded me so many times that he's like, "Is this for real? Or are you sure this is happening?" Because my dad didn't want to share his opinion until he knew I had broken free. And I said, "Yes, it's real." And my dad said, "This is the happiest day of your life. You may not see it right now, but you need to throw a party to celebrate this day." I'm saying all of that because I was lucky that my friends and family, some of them still stuck around. They didn't let me become isolated, and it was through those people that I was able to get out. Harry doesn't have that. She has successfully isolated him from everybody. He doesn't have Who does he even have? Anyone that he has is tied to her. Yeah, what do you all think about that? Yeah, I'm so glad, Neely, that we can escape. Yeah. A narcissist will always blame the victim. Carol says you are strong. Also, you didn't destroy the people's trust in your life. Harry unfortunately took actions to destroy the trust and relationships of his family and friends. And you guys, I'm going to tell you, my so when you know that one of your loved ones is in a relationship with a narcissist, there are two things you can do. You either stop talking to them completely because you can't handle watching it, or you stay around as a support system. And my mom, she saw what was happening, and my mom couldn't see that happening to me, so my mom distanced herself from me. And in no way am I blaming her. My mom was getting older. She felt that the stress of her watching me, and because there's an emotional and physical and mental decline that goes along with this. Like, I went from being someone who was bright and funny and talking to everybody and an extrovert to someone who just shrank in the corner and didn't talk. And my mom really couldn't watch that. So my mom distanced herself. My dad did the opposite. My dad, he wanted to be there for me when it fell apart. Right. So it's, um, you can respond in either way. And it makes, like, in no way is either one of them wrong, in my opinion. You know, if you can't tolerate, if it's impacting, like for my mom, it was impacting her health watching me go through that. I think she did something wise, and I'm glad she did, because imagine if something had happened to her as a result of the stress of watching me. Yeah. Yeah, let's see what everyone is saying. Melanie says she literally re educated Harry, no way to escape. He believes everything good he's experiencing now is thanks to Megan. Yeah, and all the bad stuff comes from the press. He's been brainwashed. Coffee Cat says, I found friends and family could see my pain despite me hiding it. One friend said, congratulations. Isn't that amazing? Hi, Julie. I must have missed what's going on. But hopefully everything is good. And I love that everyone is saying we are here for you. I love it. I love this community. Um, Epa says, I didn't have a support system, but a therapist helped me. Maybe Harry can get out if he gets a real therapist. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The problem also with Harry is that he hasn't done things for himself. He doesn't know. I mean, I'm assuming this, right? He's always had everyone else figure out his logistics. So us as like ordinary people, we've had jobs, we have life experiences, we kind of know what we need to do, and I feel like Harry is lacking that knowledge. Neely says, how's your mom now, revealing? Oh my goodness, my mom is a drama queen. She's great. I wonder if there's a funny story I could tell you. Well, she cracks me up. um Let me think. Okay, you guys, one time my mom so last year in March, my soul dog passed away, and I was in bad shape for a long time. I mean, even until this year, right? Like, it took a long time, and I still cry, and I still miss my soul dog. So my mom got me a puppy, and she like picked her, and she did everything and surprised me with it. So one day I was talking to my mom, and I was cuddling with my pup, my little Aurora, and my mom says something like, "Isn't it so amazing how good I am at picking gifts for people?" I was like, "Do you hear yourself, woman? What did you just say?" Oh my gosh. I was like, "Wow, mom, I can't believe you said that." It was so funny. It was so funny. And then we were talking about a gift I got her in like a conversation a couple of days later, and I repeated back what she said. I was like, "Isn't it so amazing, mom, that I know exactly what kind of gifts to give to people?" Oh my gosh. Yeah, Lizzie says, I remember that date he spoke about. I got late and I was afraid she was going to leave. They hadn't even met yet, Lizzie. One of my earliest videos is about this topic. He was already in her web before they met in person. They hadn't even met yet, and the anxiety this man is having and the responses Megan is texting him back, the responses are cold, and they're meant to make him feel bad. They're meant to increase his anxiety. She played him, and if you I mean, you know what? I'm gonna read it to you. I'm gonna read it to you. I'm gonna get Spare up in my on my Kindle. Let's see. What would I call it? What's the best phrase to search? Date? Mm, I can't remember what to search for. If you guys can think of a keyword for me to search for, from the book. Prince William believed Harry had been brainwashed by his therapist. William wanted to go to a therapy session with Harry to see what was going on, but Harry refused. Yeah. Oh, Princess Goose, I still miss my soul cat. It's been 6 years. I tell my new cat about his brother, but I tell the new cat that he's not a replacement. I say that too. I say that to my little pup. Teresa says, my mom and stepdad kicked me out when I was 15. When I graduated high school, my mom gave me a card congratulating herself on her good parenting. I'm sorry to hear that, Teresa. I'm sorry to hear that. And I'm so proud of you for graduating high school and then also recognizing the behavior. Iba says, sounds like he has a deep seated fear of abandonment that started when his mother passed. Yeah. Blind date, Carol says. Let's look it up. I hate that or maybe a Soho House. Would that work? Let's see. I think I found it, guys. I think I found it. Okay, I found it. And imagine that I have it completely highlighted. You guys ready? Okay. It says, the traffic was terrible. It was Sunday night. People were streaming back into London from their weekends in the country. Plus, I had to get through Piccadilly Circus, a nightmare at the best of times. Bottlenecks, construction, accidents, gridlock. I ran into every conceivable obstacle. Again and again, my bodyguards and I would come to a full stop in the road and we'd just sit. Groaning, sweating, mentally shouting at the massive, unmoving cars. Come on. Finally, it couldn't be avoided. I texted, running a bit late, sorry. She was already there. I apologized. Horrible traffic. Her reply, okay. So the guy he's in horrible traffic. Instead of empathizing with him, instead of trying to ease his anxiety, her response is two letters, okay. Who is this? An old geezer is asking. Oh, I should mention what I'm talking about. Sorry if I didn't mention it. So this is from Spare, and Harry is describing his first date with Megan as he's on his way um, to meet her. Okay, then it continues. It says, "I told myself she might leave. I told my bodyguards she's gonna leave. As we inched towards the restaurant, I texted again, moving but still slow. She responded, 'Can't you just get out?' And then he continues and says, 'How to explain? No, I couldn't. I wasn't able to go running through the streets of London.'" Can you believe that? He says, moving but still slow. And she's just like, "Well, why are you sitting there? Just get out of your car." Oh my goodness. But she didn't leave. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly, Lizzie. You would try to empathize with the person, right? You wouldn't want to increase their anxiety. They're already stressed. And this is like, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Blind date. Yep. That's what I looked up and I was able to find it. And Harry still believes that social climbing is a sport. Opinion says nothing in Spare can be trusted. That's true, it can't. But is really the closest thing we have to maybe understand a little bit. And at the very least, it gives great insights on the types of things we want to avoid. Like if you have a friend or a loved one or whatever who knows that you're in this anxious state, and instead of trying to soothe you, they respond with things that'll cause more anxiety. That's not love. That's not care. That's, yeah, let's see. Yes, Megan has no understanding or empathy. Yeah. Agatha says, my narc ex was 1 hour late for the first date. So much red flags. Yeah. Exactly, Lisa. Growing up in the Hollywood area, you would understand. But here's the thing, Megan played that game. Megan did that on purpose. Megan wanted him to feel that she'll leave. She that was her game. Yeah. Melanie's um, I think I don't know. Okay, so Please correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm not mistaken, that first date, Harry earlier in the day had gone like on some kayaking or something trip and he had to use the restroom and he couldn't and he went in his pants, but then I'm pretty sure he changed up his clothes and then went on the date. Yes, Alice, this is the first date and he's panicked. She had him hooked before they even met. Like how did she do that? And the reason that this question is important is because we live in a world of online dating. I don't want to ever be the Harry in this situation where I've never even met a person and I have this much anxiety about it. Yeah, it's a lot. Yes, opinion. And I've actually been thinking about doing a series on that book. It's called The Rules. And my you guys tell me what you think about that. Would you guys want to do um maybe live streams that we go chapter by chapter in that book? I think it would be very interesting to go through because it could maybe give us some insight on some of the techniques Megan used. Yep, yeah, Ebaz. Yep, that's the book. It was the book is called The Rules, and I've been meaning to do let me know if you guys would be interested in that. Sylvia. You summed it up. There it is. Coffee Cat says yes. Review that book highlighting Meg's actions. Oh my goodness, Lulu's mom, I'd rather not. I would rather not. Raven says yes to the love a book club. Okay, so you guys would you want to be reading the book along with me? Sarah, yeah, that's the one that Megan was using allegedly. But there's like two other editions that have come out. There's I think the rules too, and then there's one that I think it's called like Not Your Mama's Rules or something like that. But I want to do the original one because I want to see what tips Megan was using. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Not 20, for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your day and or rest of your morning or wherever you are. Yeah, thank you for being here. Okay, Coffee Cat says yes. Opinion says Harry wanted to make Megan seem better than she really was, that she was a great catch and similar to Diana. Harry and Megan made it happen. Yeah. Okay, Alice says it sounds fun. Steve says any lives are good. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Let's see. Ivy of Housepark says, but is the story true? I would bet that they met before. How can you hook someone you never met? You know what, Ivy of Housepark? I I think it's true. Yes. It could be that they met somewhere else. Like there are stories of them potentially have oh my gosh, how am I getting my words are getting all mixed up, that they could have met in 2015. However, you can hook someone you never met. This is exactly what happens in all of those dating scams where people give their entire life savings, they've never met this person, but they are so in love, they have sold their house and given it to them. So absolutely it can be done. Absolutely. And you know what how does that happen? What are the things we can recognize in these people? And one of the earliest videos I did also was love bombing and how narcissists use love bombing, but the online scammers use love bombing too. You know, the end goal is different. One is a financial gain, but yeah, I it can totally happen. Don't accept a date after Wednesday. Yeah, let's see. Soho House. Yeah, I think they say that they met. Some people say in Turkey, maybe? Yeah. Yeah, they talk online and get hooked. Yeah. Yeah, and it's if you're in a vulnerable state, I can totally see that happening. I mean, with my ex-husband, when I met him, we had been texting before we met in person, and I had major anxiety. Like, I didn't think I was in love with him, but I definitely was, um, self-conscious and anxious and more than I had ever been. So, yeah. All right, everyone. Well, I want to thank you so much for being here. I'm going to ask you if you're interested in the next, I'm thinking it'll be Friday morning. I'm going to do a live stream and we'll go through um, Brian Koberger's most recent hearing where they were trying to push out his trial date. You can find that on this channel or on my other channel, Revealing the Crime. I want to thank you all so much for being here. You guys are so amazing. I love the conversation you all are having together. Thank you so much for being so supportive and so wonderful. And um, what an amazing community. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, morning, wherever you are. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye, everybody.